It's a brazen scene that looks like something out of a movie.
Geez, this is really happening. It was kind of crazy.
It happens on Saturday, October 6, 2018, just after 9 p.m. at the Metro County Jail in Louisville, Kentucky. At first, it looks like routine evening activity outside the jail's kitchen.
An inmate worker wheeling trash cans from the kitchen out to the loading dock.
But then, a startling surprise.
The two garbage cans open and out pop two prisoners.
You see the lids kind of pop up and you see the two men are literally in the trash cans.
The two inmates dart behind a dumpster and rip off their orange jumpsuits. Then, one of them runs back to grab something from the trash can. With no signs of anyone around, it looks like they're about to make a run for it.
The area beside Metro Corrections was literally a door that went out to a platform where you put the garbage cans, and then there was a ramp where you can walk down. There's no fence, there's no gate. It's very open space, and if you can run fast, unless there's somebody there to catch you, they're probably not going to catch you.
And these bold inmates don't even bother to run. They casually stroll away as if they're doing nothing wrong. And then, they're gone. Just like that, these two prisoners have pulled off a bold getaway.
It's probably one of the most audacious escapes in contemporary history.
You immediately begin to think about El Chapo and his escape from prison in Mexico, where he was wheeled out in a laundry cart.
The minimum security jail, which houses about 2,000 inmates, has more than 300 cameras. And Mark Bolton, who at the time was the director of the Louisville Metro Department of Corrections, is furious.
We have a lot of cameras. It was a kind of a sick-to-your-stomach anger, just a lack of fundamental corrections 101.
Where were the people who should have been watching these two prisoners?
Obviously failed to look in those trash cans, allowing those trash cans to go out to the loading dock without even being opened or looked at.
How silly that it should be that easy to just break out of prison on a little garbage can. Something in our system has really broken down for it to be that easy to break out of prison.
There's always that movie where you see the prisoners escaping through a sewer and all that kind of thing. These characters actually did it, but they did it in plastic garbage cans.
And now, two potentially dangerous inmates are on the loose in Louisville. And for Bolton, the pressure is on to figure out who they are.
I immediately began to think, what were these guys in custody for? What's their criminal history? What is the risk to the community now that they've escaped?
Time is absolutely of the essence. We don't know where they're going. Who are they going to meet up with? It is urgent that they be located and recaptured.
A massive manhunt is launched to find them, and their getaway is all over the news.
A daring escape out of garbage cans.
Authorities say the escapees were rolled out in garbage cans.
It was a big event. You know, it was played on national TV.
A Kentucky jailbreak that was caught on camera.
It was also embarrassment. In my 40-year career, we've never had an incident like that.
The two men are quickly identified as 27-year-old Justin Stumler and 38-year-old Jeremy Hunt. Both are minimum security inmates who work in the kitchen. Hunt was arrested 4 months earlier on burglary charges. Stumler had been in for 2 months on charges that included theft and drug possession. But with both of them now on the run, the stakes are high.
One of them had a firearms history. You betcha we're really concerned about what they might do. I mean, they don't want to get caught. So yeah, it's high drama, and you're having a sleepless night that night.
So you're at home, safe and sound, you think, but unbeknownst to you, there's two dangerous criminals out there just running around free. It kind of opens up Pandora's box of your greatest nightmares. And so you can't really breathe again until they catch them and get them locked back up again.
At the jail, there's another concern. How did they pull this off? Did the escapees have help from the inside?
We think that it was coordinated, at least amongst the inmates. It's staff complacency, and staff complacency can get somebody killed.
Bolton and his staff at the jail immediately set up a high-tech command center to investigate the escape and locate the runaway prisoners.
with software that allows us to listen to inmate phone calls, to use Google mapping. We were able to determine they had access to cell phones. And once we began to access those cell phone numbers, we were able to ping those cell phone towers, and we just began to track them. We were able to track them almost in real time.
But by the next day, Sunday, October 7th, authorities still haven't been able to locate the escapees.
They know we've got a beat on them. It's on the news.
Their escape was caught on camera.
Authorities still were searching for the men.
So I think that they were probably scared, changing their appearance, changing vehicles, and they would get into one vehicle and meet an acquaintance somewhere else and then get into that vehicle. And so we were one step behind them almost the entire time.
With police on high alert, the entire city of Louisville is on edge as the prisoners elude capture.
Now they're running through the community. There is no more control. And who might they hurt and what might they damage on their way to freedom?
And they know that they're the hot topic right now. So that's a real big concern. Whether they get into a high-speed chase or whether they have weapons in their possession, or whether they have stolen a car, or whether somebody could get hurt. Yeah, that's a gigantic, huge concern, which is all the more reason why we wanted to get these guys back in custody as soon as we possibly could. It was in the local media, it was online, it was on the news.
Days on the run.
We had people calling in from really all over the region with information that they thought that they had spotted them and where they had spotted them.
By the morning of Monday, October 8th, the inmates have been on the loose for 36 hours. There have been glimpses of them near a high school Saturday night and again on Sunday morning walking towards another county. But every time a tip comes in, they're gone by the time police arrive. Then, finally, there's a promising lead. An anonymous tip that Justin Stumler plans to meet a family member at a fast food restaurant. They quickly swarm in, and when they spot Stumler, they corner him and arrest him. Now, only Jeremy Hunt remains at large. But a few hours later, after he attempts to use stolen credit cards at a gas station, police get eyes on him too, driving a stolen white truck.
He was driving back towards the Louisville area, and he was spotted and got into a high-speed chase with Meade County law enforcement personnel.
And that's when things get really scary. Hunt seems to be in a panic, driving erratically through local neighborhoods. As innocent people suddenly find themselves in danger, there are comments on the police department's Facebook page like, "The guy nearly killed me, missed me by an inch."
Somebody out on his lunch break is almost struck by the prisoner fleeing in a stolen car.
We heard the car chase on the scanner. The assignment editor said, hey, we have several cars that have been hit along the highway.
It's intense. Numerous agencies join the chase before it finally comes to a dramatic end. At 3:45 p.m. at a busy intersection, there is a terrifying 5-car collision.
The driver literally plowed through a couple intersections. There was glass everywhere. It looked pretty bad.
The vehicle driven, according to witnesses, by that escaped inmate.
Rudy Sweeney is working nearby.
We hear the loud boom. I thought the guy was, dead. I didn't know what to think. And so I was just yelling, help, help.
Nobody is dead, but at least 3 innocent bystanders are injured and rushed to the hospital. The man who caused all the chaos, escaped prisoner Jeremy Hunt, tries to make a run for it on foot, but he doesn't get very far. And now, both Hunt and Stumler are back behind bars.
In the end, we were able to get these guys back in custody very, very quickly.
Did you really think you weren't actually gonna get caught, guys? Come on.
Both prisoners end up with far longer sentences than they would have had they not tried to pull off the audacious garbage can escape.
They received about another 5-year sentence, in addition to the charges they were already in custody for at the time.
So on the one hand, you're really clever, right? But on the other hand, you're really, really stupid. Because what you've done is complicated things and gotten yourself more time. Not so ingenious.
3 other inmates who helped orchestrate the escape are also disciplined. And with the looming question of how it happened in the first place, there were penalties for the people who should have kept a closer eye on the runaways.
The 2 officers that were on duty in that duty post received very, very severe discipline and extended suspension time. They were not doing inmate counts to the degree that they should. They're supposed to be done at the beginning and at the end of every shift. So we found that they weren't doing that. They're supposed to be doing 15-minute circulations, even in that kitchen area, accounting for good security practices and ensuring that all the inmates that work in that job are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And we found some areas that needed to be addressed, additional cameras, additional camera angles, some no-fly zone areas that inmates should not be allowed to encounter or group themselves in. We did some major policy changes. The message, certainly as a result of that incident, is don't even think about it, because we will find you, we will apprehend you, we will charge you to the full extent of the law, you will be found guilty. Escapes are rare, but sometimes officer inattention to detail is a problem in this business. And that was certainly a wake-up call for us. I think it was a wake-up call for other jails and prisons around the country.
Bolton has retired now, but says this is an escape he will never forget.
Very brazen escape. And I'm still angry about that, and I always will be.